Hello and welcome to another episode of the Classical Republican. Right now I am in Athens, Greece. I did a video shortly before on the Europa Gas in Athens, Greece, from the hill of the Europa Gas, but the uh, the sound quality was really poor because it was so windy. It stormed while we were there, and so I just wanted to, well, I'll release that video and you can watch it and see where that all happened, but um, I'll just talk about it here so you can hear it a little bit better. So in that video, it's from the rock upon which the Areopagus sat. The Areopagus was an institution. Also in the video, you can see that you can see where the just downhill from there, you can see where the Athenian assembly met. So that's pretty interesting. So what I was saying is that I wasn't going to do a video much on Athens. As you can see right behind me is the Acropolis. The Areopagus is right over there. You can't see it in this video, but like I said, go see the other video. Oops, ow. But so we're gonna. So the Areopagus was a council, a few hundred individuals. It was aristocratic. You had to be born into it, and so it was kind of the one element of the Constitution of Athens that preceded the rise of democracy. It was kind of a council to the kings. And then later on, you have the rise of democracy, and so the Areopagus was kind of marginalized. So originally, it did have legislative responsibilities. It had judicial responsibilities and religious responsibilities, and those judicial responsibilities, well, the legislative responsibilities were handed over to the Vuli, the council, and through the ecclesia, the assembly, and then some judicial power was stripped away from it and given to other juries and courts, and because the jury system was very important to the Athenians. They had very large juries of 501 or 1001, depending on the type of case. So the Areopagus was still around mostly as a Supreme Court. So that was where their Supreme Court sat, on that hill. One reason I wasn't going to do a video on Athens was because in the tradition of, the Republican tradition, it is seen more as more of a direct democracy. And you can point out the excesses of democracy in Athenian history. And so most classical Republicans don't see ancient Athens, as a real mixed regime. Although it did have somewhat of a mixed regime, with the Areopagus being more of an oligarchy, also some other magistracies being oligarchies, or being open only to the aristocrats. And then you have, I love the motorcycles in Athens. And then you have the democratic ecclesia, and you have the sort of a monarchy and the archons. So that was their classical regime. Barry Strauss goes into that, and he's somewhat of a classical Republican who wrote about how Athens should be seen as a legitimate mixed regime, and so I guess if you're Barry Straussian, of the Barry Straussian persuasion, then I guess you can. If you're that type of classical Republican, then Athens was a classical republic with a legitimate mixed regime. So don't you love the Acropolis? Yeah. So until next time, long live the Republic.